All right, Mr. Marufo, are we ready?
Yes, Judge, we're ready. We're live. In cause number 2020-0D0-3566 and 2021-0D0-2767, State of Texas versus Anthony Joel Cortez. Announcement for council, please.
Barbara King for the state of Texas. Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Brian Kennedy for the defense, and we're ready, Your Honor.
All right. I am showing on the annex video an individual. Would you please state your name for the record?
Anthony Joel Cortez.
All right. And Mr. Cortez, let me go ahead and have you raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you?
My yes is yes, and my no means no.
I'm sorry, what?
My yes is yes, and my no means no.
Okay. So are you swearing to tell the truth?
My yes is yes, and my no means no, ma'am. I can't swear.
You can't swear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm not asking for a swearing to a religious body. It's just so help you.
My yes is yes, and my no means no, ma'am. Sorry.
All right, go ahead and lower your hand. Are you saying you will be truthful in the questions that I ask you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you will not lie to me when I ask you a question?
No, ma'am.
Okay, all right. Okay, Mr. Cortez, I'm gonna go ahead and start asking you a few questions, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
What is your date of birth, Mr. Cortez?
07/03/1984.
Okay, and are you a US citizen, Mr. Cortez?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You do realize that you are currently charged in two cases to 2021-0D0-2767. You have 3 counts in there. You'll be pleading to 2 of them. And you continuous violence against the family, a 3rd-degree felony, and assault of a pregnant person, a 3rd-degree felony. And you'll also be pleading in 2020-0D0-3566, injury to a child or elderly or disabled, also a 3rd-degree felony. Do you understand you are charged with those offenses?
Yes.
All right. Do you understand you have a right to remain silent, a right to trial by jury, a right to counsel, a right to confront or cross-examine witnesses, and a right to call witnesses on your behalf or in your defense?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Kennedy, have you had more than 10 days to prepare your defense in this case?
I have, Your Honor. I've spoken with Mr. Cortez.
All right, Mr. Cortez, I have been shown what's been marked as State's Exhibit 1, which are the plea papers in these cause numbers. Have you signed these papers?
Yes, I believe so, ma'am.
All right. And did you read and understand the plea papers?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Kennedy, did you explain the plea papers to your client? And do you believe he has understood the admonishments, the rights, and the consequence of giving up these rights by entering a plea in this case?
I do, Your Honor. We went through each of them page by page and discussed them.
Mr. Cortez, are you satisfied with your attorney's representation of you in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Kennedy, do you have any reason to believe your client is not presently competent to enter this plea?
I believe him to be competent, Your Honor.
Mr. Cortez, have you ever been found incompetent by any court or been examined by a doctor, psychiatrist who has ever found you mentally ill?
No, Your Honor.
Based on your testimony, your attorney's representation, and my observation, the court finds that you are competent to enter your plea. You previously stated you are a U.S. citizen. Is that true?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Understand that if you are not a U.S. citizen, a plea of guilty and a finding of guilty may result in deportation, the exclusion from admission to this country, or the denial of naturalization.
Yes, Your Honor.
So with that being said, to the charge against you, what is your plea?
Guilty.
And are you making this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. King, would you please summarize the evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. Were the state to proceed to trial on the indictment, the state would have proven each and every element the offense is charged. Injury to a child or elderly or disabled with intentional bodily injury in cause number 2020-0D03566 and 2021-0D02767 of count 1, continuous violence against the family, count 2 of an assault of a pregnant person, and count 3 of obstruction or retaliation beyond a reasonable doubt. Judge, the defendant is pleading to 5 years of deferred adult probation, no offensive contact with the complaining witness, and the remaining state's terms and conditions stated on the state's plea paperwork. Further, the state will dismiss count 3, which is the obstruction or retaliation charge in cause number 2020-0D01367. And at this time, the state moves to admit Exhibit 1 is the state's plea paperwork, Exhibit 2, Article 3914 disclosures, and Exhibit 3 is the indictment.
All right. Any objection to the admittance of states 1 and 2, Mr. Kennedy?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. King, is there a plea agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, there is.
All right. And I believe you have stated that a plea agreement, correct? Is the 5 years deferred?
Yes, Your Honor, that is correct.
All right. Mr. Kennedy, have you had a chance to review portal and all documents tendered to you?
I have, Your Honor.
And Mr. Cortez, is this your understanding of the plea agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Understand the plea agreement is not binding on the court. However, should I reject it, I would permit you to withdraw your plea of guilty. If the court follows the plea agreement, you may not appeal this case except on matters raised by written motion and ruled on before trial or by permission of the court. These are the appeal rights explained in the trial court certification of your right to appeal, the original of which is signed by you, your lawyer, and by me, and a copy of which will be provided to you at a later date. All right. Based on your plea of guilty and the evidence introduced, I will accept your plea at this time and find the evidence substantiates your guilt. However, I do believe you have signed a motion for deferred adjudication. Is that correct, Mr. Cortez?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Kennedy, have you explained to your client the benefits and detriments of deferred adjudication?
I have, Your Honor.
And Mr. Cortez, do you understand that if you violate a condition of deferred adjudication, this court can proceed to sentence you up to the full range of punishment for this offense in the Institutional Division, Texas Department of Criminal Justice?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you still asking this court to grant you deferred adjudication?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I find there is sufficient evidence to substantiate a finding of guilt. However, I will not enter a finding of guilt at this time. Instead, I will defer further proceedings and place you on community supervision for a period of 5 years. Understand that if you successfully complete your probation, you may petition the court for an order of non-disclosure. Are you asking for notice on that, on your plea papers, Ms. King, about the non-disclosure?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. All right. So the state shall be given notice if you're going to be filing that petition for non-disclosure, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. With this, your sentence will commence. I'm sorry. All right, your sentence will commence this day and you'll be given credit for any time that you have spent in jail on these charges. Is there a victim impact statement?
No, Your Honor, there will not be.
Okay. I'm following the state's recommendation of the 5 years deferred, the $4,000 fine, 3,500 probated, the 200 hours of community service, as well as the UABA curfew, court costs, DIPP, no offensive contact with the CW, family violence finding, and anything else probation deems appropriate, as well as the dismissal of count 3, the obstruction or retaliation. Both causes, the 3566 and the 2767 shall run concurrent. Is there anything else from the state?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Anything else from the defense?
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Cortez, this concludes this hearing. You are going to be seeing a court services officer and they are going to be taking your fingerprints and they will be giving you reporting instructions and giving you documents, references plea, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck with you, Mr. Cortez.
Yes, Your Honor.
Take care.
Thank you, Judge. That's all I have today. Can I be dismissed?
You are free to go, Mr. Kennedy. Have a good day and I hope you feel better. And I hope you
Thank you.
make that trip.
I've been told it's a requirement, Judge.
All right, you will. It'll be good. All right.
Thank you.
Do I have anybody else at the annex?
Judge, they're all from the annex.
No from the
Yeah,
annex?
You got 9 more. Okay, yes, ma'am.
Judge, you should have my client, Mr. Taylor. He's at the annex.
Okay.
Okay. Somebody said I had 9 more. I think I heard them say.
Oh,
it.
okay.
Yes, Your Honor. Well, we have a list of total 10 inmates.
Okay. All right. Let me
What- what
see in
period
which
next
order
one?
Mr. Marufo wants to go in. Mr. Marufo, what's next?
Give me just a
Judge,
moment.
I'm forwarding you the plea papers for Frederick Taylor.
Okay. On my email? That's fine.
Yes, Judge.
Yes, ma'am. They did.
Judge, can we take a 5-minute break, Judge?
Yes,
I
yes,
have-
that's fine.
I'm gonna go off YouTube.